Tommy's got a small fracture in his pinky toe, but it's kind of per his tolerance. So I don't see an IL situation. Teo, the scans came back negative, so that's positive. But he's sore, and so we'll see how he kind of comes out after we travel. And then Kike has been dealing with this elbow thing for about a month. Left elbow, inside, outside of it. So doesn't affect the defense, but the swing has been compromised. So, yesterday really came to a head as far as swinging. And so we stayed away from him again today. So those three guys, we're trying to figure out where we're at. Yeah, we might, Eric. Today when you have one player available and that's the catcher, that's not a good feeling. So, I don't know how much will change tomorrow as far as availability. So, there is talk about one of those guys potentially going to the IL. I don't see it being Tommy, but we're still kind of trying to figure out, and then who we'd bring.
So he said one of those guys going to the IL, James Outman, is in Milwaukee. Of course, there's always a chance he could be on the taxi squad, but more likely it's going to be for either Kike Hernandez or Teoscar Hernandez. And Kike is another guy that has been struggling in the last month, dealing with that elbow injury. What I've been told, it's not everything. It's not completely to blame for the struggles that he has had, just because you kind of look at those at-bats. And Kike has been expanding at pitches out of the zone, and that you definitely want to kind of make sure that he kind of resets mechanically from that standpoint. But yeah, I mean, Kike over the last month has been kind of dealing with it. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I have been kind of doing some digging on this, and it does feel like Kike Hernandez with kind of the elbow. I mean, they need some coverage with Max Muncy gone from the infield. Dave has already said that you're going to see more Miguel Rojas at third. And like I told you last week, we're going to see more Tommy Edman at third base. So I personally think with Esther Ruiz up, you've got Teoscar Hernandez and Michael Conforto and Andy Pages in that outfield mix with multiple guys that can play that position. My hope for the remainder of the season, as far as big picture, that you just give Teo this week off, All-Star break, and then come back, and then hopefully he hits the ground running and we see the Teo that we saw for the first 34 games of this season. But if Kike needs to being impacted and they're worried that it could have a longer term effect, then I think that you have to strongly consider that as well. But I see a lot of you guys still mad about the Astros series. Still mad about that Astros series. Yeah, I mean, trust me. The Dodgers, if you go to Fangraphs right now, the Dodgers World Series odds before getting swept by the Astros was at 24.1%, and it dropped all the way to 22.1% after getting swept. So not too bad. Not too bad there. Okay, so let's switch gears to Shohei Ohtani pitching, because I want to get into that, and we'll answer your questions, and we'll get to you guys in a second here. But Shohei Ohtani, he made another appearance, and Shohei Ohtani continues to really, really impress on the mound. I think with Shohei, expectations were always, hey, this guy is something that only very few players can even comprehend. But for him to pitch well again, went 2 innings, gave up no runs, gave 1 hit, got the double play, struck out the side in the second inning. The question now, though, is how is that going to impact the offense? Because over the last couple weeks, he's had his ups and downs. I mean, since June 11th, he's hitting under 200. I'm sure there's a little transition period there. And from what I was told, he's trying to get everything synced up as far as, it's not linear from what I was told as far as being the hitter and the pitcher at the same time. So that's going to take some time to just get that feel back where you're hitting and you're pitching the same game, kind of compartmentalizing, kind of shifting gears there. And I think that for Shohei, it's still good news. It really is. All these innings that he's pitching are innings that aren't being pitched by the staff with the extra roster spot. And it's not like he's been going out there and getting shelled. He's been looking dominant when he's been on the mound. The question is, though, what are the expectations and what's the plan for him? And the plan, according to Dave Roberts, is that they could stretch him to 5 or 6 innings. So Dave said after his start that it is feasible for Shohei to go 5 and 6 innings in starts this season. So just look at what we've seen so far and look what we've seen in that inning or two that he has pitched. That has looked dominant. You stretch that out to 4 or 5 innings, well, then you have yourself an ace pitcher. So hopefully that is what it keeps trending towards. And if that's truly the role they have for him, that's going to put even more of a burden on him as far as what he's responsible for offensively and on the mound. And look, I mean, you can never have enough dominant starting pitching. If he can do that for 5 or 6 innings in a postseason game, that definitely changed the calculus of if they need to add another starting pitcher at the deadline. I think that now it feels like it's less likely that they are going to go and pursue a frontline starter just because, one, not a lot of guys out there are even better than any of the guys they have when they're healthy. And then on top of that, you, I think, now need a bat. I think that, and we'll talk about that throughout this week. I got some names for you guys. Some fresh targets I'm going to throw at you later this week as far as bats they could go out there and get. But for Shohei Ohtani to pitch like an ace, this is huge. And then you consider the fact that you're going to see Tyler Glass now back at some point during their series against Milwaukee Wednesday or Thursday. That's also big too. So things are starting to really get better. You're starting to see the light at the end of that injury tunnel as far as the pitchers go. And I think the question now is, how well does Shohei Ohtani handle hitting and pitching, and how much are they going to expand that? Well, right now it feels like they are going to expand it into a true starter's role. But here was Shohei Ohtani talking about his start. And when we return, we're going to get to an exclusive interview with Ha-seong Kim.
Your numbers offensively since you started ramping up pitching haven't been too dissimilar, but have you felt any different at the plate since you've kind of started increasing the pitching workload?
復帰してから打撃の方では少し影響しているとか、感覚的に変わっているところありますか？まあ単純にその打席でのなんていうんですかね、まあすごく悪いっていう感覚はないですけど、なんですかね、自分が捉えたと、今日もそうですけど、捉えたと思ってるのが、まあ、セカンドゴロになったりとかっていうちょっとしたズレがまあそういう不調の時っていうのはそういう感じじゃないかなと思うので、まあ、逆に言えば少しのこう感覚の違いですぐに戻ってきたりはするので、まあ、そこはまあ練習で養っていくしかないのかなと思います。I don't feel too bad at the plate, but at the same time, I'm recognizing pitches that I should be able to hit, which I'm not. And usually it's a matter of just a little bit of a difference in the way that I'm swinging. So just have to find it in the cage work and hopefully be able to apply that on the field.
Are you mostly calling your own pitches when you're pitching? And if so, are you doing that more off game planning, pregame stuff, or just kind of your feel of how you're throwing stuff in a game?
いやもう感覚でいく時もありますし、もちろんビルから今日なんかはなんですかね、まあ、ピッチフォーム上で交換しながらやってるので、まあ、自分がこうだと思えばそれ優先しになりますし、その時によって変わるかなと思います。Just depends on how I feel that day. There are games where I call my game, but there's also a game like today where it's a back and forth communication with Will. It just really depends.
One more, guys. Shohei, how do you think your build-up is going as a pitcher, and do you think you could get into the third inning pretty soon?
3イニング目投げれる感じですか？そうですね、まあもともと決まってるイニングをまずは消化するっていうのがリハビリの過程上は大事なと思うので、まあ、いけるからと言っていくのがまあ必ずしもいい答えだとは思わないので、まあ、チームのまずは本心と自分の感覚とまずはステップを前に進めるっていうのが大事だと思うので、まずは交代しないように少しでも前進し続けるようなトレーニングに戻ってくると思います。
In a rehab progression, it's really important to just take one step at a time. There are times when I may be able to go another inning, but it's really important to not to take unnecessary risk and make sure that I can progress consistently. So that it's always been this way in terms of my rehab progression. So I'm following what the team is also asking me as well. Thanks.
So there you go, Shohei Ohtani. Hey, man, and things are looking up as far as the pitching. I think offensively, he definitely is not just the MVP batter that he's been just the last couple of weeks for sure. But still, I mean, it's Shohei Ohtani. He's still on the year putting up really good numbers. And I think for me, when I look at Shohei at this little stretch right here, I think he's a guy that, look, man, just became a dad, pitching again. I mean, I still think just from a numbers standpoint, yeah, I will sacrifice just what we've seen offensively with, okay, it's really about going out there and just pitching again. So what he's doing is remarkable, and there's nothing short of it's just greatness from him. There's no doubt about it. And I look at Shohei as someone that is still one of the best players in baseball. He is the best player in baseball, but I think for him, what separates him from Aaron Judge is just that ability to pitch. And yeah, I mean, not like the lights out week from Shohei against the Astros, but we know he's gonna have a monster week in Milwaukee. You just kind of know how that works, and against the Giants too. So I really never get too high on Shohei's little mini in-season slumps. So all in all, his numbers on the year at 168 weighted runs created plus. It's down from the 180 that he hit last year when he won the MVP, but a hot week, and he's right there. So, all right, guys, so let's hear some comments real quick. We'll get to my man Ha-seong Kim. Got to hang out with him in the Dodgers dugout, so we'll play that right now. We've got the Dodgers are the best from Gavin. Momentary Kim should bat leadoff. He's young. He's fast. He gets on base. Taste netted, yeah. I mean, I think he profiles as a leadoff hitter for sure. I think you want to give him more of a sample size to see if he can truly hit at this level for an extended period of time. Because if you give him leadoff, you're also giving him the advantage of having an extra 30 or 40 plate appearances. And that's what they value for Shohei and Mookie and Freddie and the top of that lineup. So more for Kim at the top of the order would mean less for those guys. So then the debate comes, is it better to have those guys with less plate appearances, more run-producing opportunity? So point is, they're going to keep their top three the same. I mean, barring something insane, it's going to be Mookie right there behind Shohei, and then Freddie there. I do think that there's a chance they do move Shohei off the leadoff spot during starts, though. I think that's something that's possible as well. Paul Gutierrez, D-Mac, how likely is it that Sasaki pitches this season? I saw him throw the other day. He's all smiles. He feels like he's just feeling a little better about everything and just the injury. So, look, I think that I wouldn't say it's imminent, but I still think that depending on how things go, he wants to pitch again. I don't think that he would love having those 8 starts. That's it for his rookie season. And yes, he's pitched under 50 innings, so he's at 34 1/3, so he could stretch it to next season as far as rookie campaign. But I think he wants to come back, feel healthy, have something positive heading into the offseason no matter what. So I do expect him to pitch at some point, barring a major setback from the injuries. All right, guys, so let's get to an exclusive interview with Ha-seong Kim. I just want to say this guy is awesome. I got to speak to him a couple different times this season. But, yeah, I mean, he's just a great dude who loves the fans, loves his teammates, loves playing ball. And there's a reason why he's quickly become one of the most popular Dodgers, just because he's got that charisma. And as Dave Roberts said, everyone